What have you thought about Richard LeCounte? That's a 5th-round pick that looks like he can play.
So you've been eavesdropping. He's my guy. I've loved watching him during camp. Not only with the pedigree as an SEC player and a starter at Georgia, I just like he's got a nose for the ball. And I mean, you've even seen in a couple of preseason games, and while they've not been flashy interceptions, he seems to have a magnet attached to those hands because the ball is finding him. He's also made plays in training camp. He made plays against the Giants last week. Got a toughness about him. Seems to line up where he's supposed to be. So, with all the injury situations that we've had at that safety position, we still don't know about when Grant Delpit's going to be back. We're thinking this week, but we don't know. Ronnie Harrison has shown that, he's had trouble staying on the field all the time. John Johnson III obviously looks like the guy that you can count on back there. But it's nice in LeCounte, a guy taken in the later rounds. Again, a nod to that Browns personnel department for finding him. I think he could be a real valuable player and have a significant role for them this year, Dave.
Yeah, I would agree. And you talk about him, you talk about Peoples-Jones, you talk about Felton. Those are guys that they're picking in rounds where you usually don't have guys on the roster. That's an indication they know what kind of player fits in what their coaching and what their system wants.
That is so true. And that is the sign of a team that has developed into a good team. I mean, when you look at the great teams of all time, and not even the great teams of all time, but you look at the franchises that are able to sustain year in and year out, whether it's New England or Pittsburgh or Green Bay, it's because they know exactly what they're looking for. They've had guys at particular positions that they can say, you know what? We know that Cam Hayward is a prototype defensive tackle. We need guys like him. In the case of Pittsburgh, in the case of the Baltimore Ravens, they've had plenty of great defensive players through the years, be it Ed Reed or be it on the offensive side, and a guy like Jonathan Ogden. And I know those are Hall of Fame examples, but to my point, they know what that kind of talent looks like. And that's why they identify those guys in the draft as players that they want to go forward with, because that's the kind of players that they've had success with.